Hello, welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics/Non-Classics. This is episode number 211 and Doubleshot number 145. I know I said my next video was my top 10 favorite Batman writers. That is currently under development right now. I'm just compiling my list. It'll still take a while because there's a lot of good Batman writers who basically have written Batman over the years. But these books are not Batman related at all. They're just two completely different books. And they're trades published by Marvel Comics. Okay, first up is Loki, Agent of Asgard, Volume 3, written by Al Ewing, who currently writes Contest Champions, New Avengers, and Ultimates. Yeah, he writes 3 titles now. This was one of 2 titles he was writing. The other title was Captain America and the Avengers. Now, the artist for this book is Lee Garbett. Yes. Now, this book covers issues 12 to 17. Now, some are asking, where's the first 2 volumes? How can you review it? Well, because this is the only book available, so I figured why not get this book out of the way. This book is just simply, well, first, for the first, several issues of this book, it's just dealing with the after effects of of Access, Loki be put on trial. Oh, an interesting fact. This guy here, that's not the main Loki of the series, of this book. This is Loki for this series. This is King Loki. He is a futuristic version of Loki, and the only reason why he was created was because Jason Aaron created a futuristic version of Thor, so Oliver was like, okay, if there's going to be a future Thor, why not have a future Loki? And King Loki is pretty much in most of the entire series as a regular villain for the character. Plus, the character has made one appearance outside this book, showing up in an issue of Bucky Barnes Winter Soldier. He shows up at issue, I believe it's issue 2. Yes, issue 2 he shows up in. Because he goes to Asgard, so why not? I'm thinking, why not this? Why not Loki, who's actually the main? Why not this Loki? I don't know, but this is the Loki that showed up in that series. If you read that book, yeah, him be put on trial. The whole thing of him being the third Loki, because there's been 3, and then you got the Jack Kirby one, you got the kid one. Let me show you the page that shows it off. Now, Lee Garbett is not the only artist in this book. There's, it looks like some of the artists, looks like 7 different artists on this book. There's this, the book starts off basically, I thought it was completely something, basically with a trial, well, not exactly a trial, basically, of course, his appearance by King Loki in the future with future Thor, which I believe this is 1 of 2 appearances he made outside of Thor God of Thunder. And basically, Loki raises an army of the undead, and of course, all that stuff, and of course, dealing with Ultron, stuff like that. I think he flashes back between the present, and the future, and plus there's many offhand references to what happened before, like here, like what I mentioned, this page here. That's in Bucky Barnes Winter Soldier number 2. This is one thing I do like. Not all Marvel books do this, but I think they should do this. Is that when they mention something, it should lead these little. You see these little yellow boxes? Yeah, you don't see these very often anymore because editors don't put those in there. I think they should always put them there whenever you have a reference to something. Of course, King Loki is tormenting his younger self, and then cuts over to him being burned. Now, here's what I was talking about. This right here, that's a Stan Lee Jack Kirby Loki. This is the kid Loki Karen Gillan came up, that Matt Fraction came up with during his run for Thor, before he got spun off to Journey to Mystery. All these issues are really well. And this is Verda Williams, who is the main supporting. She's the regular supporting character in the book. She first showed up in issue 2, and she's been in pretty much almost every single issue since then. And of course, the whole point of this book is just to reference stuff that happened before. But and of course, most unexpected thing happens. The Ultimate Earth shows up in the skies of 616. King Loki seeing it. That is really cool. There's a past, and of course Loki apparently is back. I mean, when I saw this page, I thought that the I thought the artwork was actually Chris Botchlo. It's still the same artist, just different styles. More stuff with Odin acting like a complete dick to people. I mean, he's a lot worse in the pages of Thor right now. I won't mention what happened to Frigga something back. Apparently, now since he got his horns back, apparently he can switch genders. Yes, Loki can switch to his female self. A version he held for about 2 years, maybe. I think it was like a year or two. Of course, there's the fighting. You got Heimdall basically acting more unusual. And probably the most awesomest thing. Of course, Boldig is sent out to Hell. Let me show you the most awesomest thing. Apparently, Hela is bringing her forces to Asgard. So, what happens? Odin brings out a barrel machine gun. And you have Frigga, Thor's stepmother, not biological mother, his biological mother is Mother Nature. You have them she's holding 2 machine guns. Badass. Yeah, Odin. This is actually Odin at its finest. And then cuts through Freddie Williams' backstory. You have Odin firing his machine gun, and then all of a sudden, this is probably by far the most awesomest thing about this book. I've cut through all the Reddy stuff. You have. Let me show this. There's a panel here. I'm about to get to it. And of course, Laura and Stuttgart come back. Yes, Stuttgart is a Karen Gillan creation. Lorelei is actually a creation of Louis Simonson. But of course, let's see if we can get to the page. The famous battle scene I want to show off. I don't think they show it here, where they have the Warriors 3 and all the other people, all the other friends of Thor, firing off machine guns at the forces of Hela when she tries to invade Asgard. Nice little story. They went the whole last day stuff. Yeah. Now, Verity Williams, she's not like a love interest. She's more like a friend to Loki. Yes, she is. And the book just ends like that. Next. But of course, the character shows up in again the pages of Thor, of Mighty Thor, where he's back being a villain again. No explanation exactly why he's back being a villain, but he's back being a villain. But this is just pure awesomeness at its finest. Al Ulrich did a fantastic job writing this series, and this is really good. I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Awesome. Highly recommended. I'll probably soon get my hands on the first 2 books when I get my chance. Next is another Volume 3, even though I haven't reviewed the first 2 volumes yet. Guardians of the Galaxy by Jim Valentino. Now this book contains 21-29 of the first volume in the series, Guardians of the Galaxy. The current volume is Volume 4. A number 2, and Marvel Superheroes number 18. That is actually the debut appearance. He put that at the end of the book because they wanted to show how the origin was originally presented, because they gave them a new origin story in issue 26. You have appearances by the Silver Surfer, Galactus. Not much with Thanos. You have the forgotten version, the Master Chief, one that Dr. Octopus led when he fought the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, the reason why this one is a forgotten incarnation is because I don't think anybody read the issues, and the incarnation is so forgettable. But the incarnation is this. If you want to know what the incarnation of this particular... Also, Major Victory is basically wearing a pseudo Captain America costume. So, the Masters of Evil, his Masters of Evil, which are in this book, by the way. I know we got other stuff going on here. Let's see if we can find the page that has the introduction to these characters. Let's see here if I can find it. Here we go. His lineup is made up of Oddball, Jackhammer, Powder Keg, Yellow Jacket, and the husband-wife duo of Absorry Man and Titana. This is the lineup for which is noteworthy for the forgotten version. I mean, there's appearances also by the Inhumans, because one member is turned to be Inhuman, it's a member town. Now, I don't know exactly why Major Victory is wearing a pseudo Captain America costume. He's supposed to wear a silver suit. Maybe I missed that at some point, but yeah, this is just a really good book. Jim Valentino does a fantastic job of writing this. Now, he only stayed in the book for the first 20 issues and it was handed to somebody else. Now, Arnold Drake did the original origin story for this version of Guardians of the Galaxy. When you think Guardians of the Galaxy, who do you think of? Peter Quill, Gamora, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, and Drax. You think of those. You think of the present incarnation. This incarnation has been around since the late 60s. As a matter of fact, they are still on this very day. They're currently one of the starring characters of the Guardians Infinity series. I also recommend the Guardians 3000 series. It's an awesome title by Dan Abnett. Guardians Infinity is also written by Dan Abnett as well. But I know the reason why they can't call the series Guardians. They can't have two series called Guardians of the Galaxy. So they had the first series when they brought it up called Guardians 3000 and called the current one Guardians Infinity because there's already is a Guardians of the Galaxy book. But if you're wondering though what Yondu originally looked like before they changed them currently the pages of the current Star-Lord book that Sam Harris is writing. This right here, that is what Yondu originally looked like in this universe. That was before they gave him a 616 counterpart, which made him look like the way he did in the movies. Yep. So overall, this book is great. But I do recommend reading the first two books along with this one to get a good understanding exactly what the 90s version of the 90s series. But I also recommend getting the 2-book series Guardians of the Galaxy Tomorrow's Avengers, which collects their spotlight appearances, basically from the moment they debuted in 1967 up until like the last known one they had before the start of the series. I mean, it collects everything. Their appearances from Marvel feature. It was Marvel. It wasn't premiere. It was some umbrella series that they were briefly part of. The appearances from Thor, Avengers. Marvel 2-in-1, Marvel Team-Up. Basically, a lot of their guest star appearances they made over the years, from the course of a little over 20 years. But those two really good. I highly recommend those. Plus, the first 2 volumes of this, when they get a chance, to review it. But this is just pure. This is pure awesomeness at its finest. And plus, the last 2 issues, which have featured the Galactic Octopus Master Evil. Those are tie-ins to, I believe it's the Infinity. Let's see if I can find it here. They are tie-ins to the Infinity War crossover, which is the second of the Infinity crossovers they had in the 90s. So, I definitely do recommend this, but I would also read the first 2 books before reading this one. So I'm giving this book a 9 out of 10. Purely awesome book. Alright, stay tuned for the next episode of this series, which should be episode 212 and Doubleshot number 146. Okay? Until then, see you there. Bye.